Hey there, it's your favorite Yogi Sa coming right back at you with another video here at Sa Yoga Studios. So welcome friends, happy to join you again, happy to see all of you again or to be seen by all of you again. Today we'll touch on the third limb of yoga, limb number 3, which is the Asana. Now this is the aspect of yoga which many people are familiar with. They associate yoga with physical movement, with exercise, which is kind of funny because the term asana in Sanskrit literally translates into seated posture, a comfortable seated posture. It means sitting comfortably in one place for however long. You know, this is the posture, this is the limb that allows you to cultivate stillness and motionlessness in order to go to the other limbs, reaching the 7th limb, which is meditation, finding a meditative state. So in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, he talks about it being just a seat, finding a seated position. The practitioner is finding a seated position and is learning how to be still, comfortably still in one position in order to practice meditation, in order to reach a meditative state. So throughout the ancient times, throughout the classical history of yoga, the ancient history of yoga, that's what it meant, literally. And only until modern times, within the past 150 years, has it become something more than that. It's become a series of exercises, a series of sustained postures that cultivate heat, that cultivate and generate heat within the body and allows the body to come to a state in which it now wants to relax and wants to be still, be in a position of stillness, whether it be seated or whether it be in Shavasana, laying on your back. So you have, the standing postures, you have the balancing postures, stabilization postures, hip openers, twists and back bends and inversions and all these variations of postures that are they are very much a high form, a formidable form of physical culture, exercises, for the physical body, for cultivating strength and mobility, which is wonderful and great. It's there, I suppose, to accommodate the modern practitioner who is not used to being still for long periods of time, let alone a few minutes. So these postures, these combination of postures and variations of postures help cultivate these austerities, help cultivate the heat within the body and extending the mobility and the strength of the human body and getting to a place where you feel that you have to be still, you have to relax and be calm and motionless. Because most people, on their own, without doing anything else, any exercises or any postures beyond sitting, have a hard time doing just that, motionless, without distraction, without interruption, without there being, things wrestling, things troubling or preoccupying their minds and making them fidget or move. So definitely asana within the modern epoch of yoga, within modern times, is there to really, really help the practitioner get to a point of stillness, get to a point where he or she can be seated in stillness, seated in a motionless state. And I will be discovering some more things with you as we go on, making discoveries as we go on, and also discussing these discoveries, these gleanings from the practice of yoga. And the Asana practice is a very good way to discover very much things about yourself. Discover things within yourself that are dormant, as I mentioned before, things that are latent, and to also help unleash through the accumulation of heat and movement, to move things out, to cleanse, to purge the body of waste, to purge the body of things that do not serve you. So, that is Asana in a nutshell, the third limb of yoga. And throughout this channel, I will do tutorials and talk about certain postures beyond the seated posture, which is the classical Asana posture, being seated. We'll go beyond that and discover more things. You'll discover those things as we go by, as we go forward, and we will talk about the other postures that will help you get to the seated classical posture of no movement, motionlessness, okay? Being completely mindful of that. And I'm very excited about it being warm, getting warmer, so I'll do postures here, doing tutorials in my studio, in my loft. But as we go forward, as it gets warmer, we'll be going outside as well and discovering many things within the elements, within the natural world, with the modern asana postures. Multitude of postures that we can go through, that we can discuss, and we can explore, and we can demonstrate as well. But remember, the classical posture is being seated, being comfortably seated without movement, so that you can practice meditation without any distraction. You can withdraw the senses, which we'll be going into, which is the fifth limb. Well, first, before that, you can come back to your breath, distribution of breath, which is the fourth limb, pranayama. You can work on that as you're seated comfortably in one spot. And then you can go forward beyond the pranayama, the distribution of breath, of the life force energy, which is the breath, and then go to withdrawing the senses after you've channeled your breath, which is the fifth limb, pratyahara. And then from there, zoning in and focusing on concentration, your fixed gaze, drishti, focusing the gaze on a fixed object without distraction, which is dharana, which is the sixth limb. And then going into a meditative state, into the seventh limb, dhyana, meditation, which from that point on, perhaps you can achieve complete consciousness, supreme consciousness, complete union and oneness with the universe, samadhi. So, just a little brief discussion on asana, the third limb, the seated posture, sustained posture, which are many postures that can be explored in the modern realm, the modern epoch of yoga. So, if you liked this video, please press the like button, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. And as always, I wish you peace, prosperity, tranquility, longevity, and vitality. Always.